Hello everyone, welcome to this webinar about ChatGPT and Midjourney in recruitment. This name, I would say in general, is a little bit simplified because of course I will be talking about these AI tools more in the context. I would say like the aim of this webinar, let's say in those 60 minutes, is to give you the impression what's possible, what's not possible, how you can do that practically in your daily work. Of course, when we want then to go to some more sophisticated scenarios, how to use AI, of course it's possible, but of course we would also need more time actually to do that. So before everyone is actually join in, I will start with a little bit of intro, because of course we hear about these new technologies in recruitment for long years. It's not just ChatGPT. It's ChatGPT is here, let's say since December 22. Even if GPT as itself, it's way longer. But there were other tools like, for example, company Tailspin. They, for example, created and they try to utilize the virtual reality for example, hiring process. So with this tool, you can actually try to simulate how it would be, for example, to lay off your employees, to fire employees, kind of like a simulator of a manager. So that's the implication of virtual reality. Then guy and biased. We heard of that. I don't think it's like widely used, but it's a robot. It's a robot which is actually doing interview for you or for your company, actually here in a form of real bust. So it's like a real hardware. It's not just software. It's so common now, for example, in Asia, that you are watching TV news anchors and those anchors are artificial. Either they are totally artificial, totally not existent person, like for example, this Shin Shua, or for example, in Korea, they use kind of like a deep fake. They have a deep fake of a real person. And these like normal, common, everyday news are done by this artificial duplicate, by this twin of the real person. Only, let's say, the real important news are done by the real anchor. So imagine how this can be applied, for example, in your recruitment practice, because now the creation of these deepfakes or maybe artificial avatars are kind of way easier than it was before. I definitely say hello to Alejandro and other people who are here joining. Of course, whether you watch it like Alejandro on LinkedIn or other people on YouTube, I can see all the comments right there. So if you have any comments, questions, please put there under the broadcast where you are actually watching that. When we mention, for example, face recognition, it's actually AI as well. So in China, in part of the China, they kind of test it, but it's not just China. It's like a normally used. Imagine that we, for example, here in Prague at our office, we created this device. This is chassis printed on 3D printer. Inside there is Raspberry Pi computer, like a small cheap computer you can buy anywhere, and it's connected with LinkedIn. And for example, here the MC of one conference actually took kind of like a selfie of himself, and as you can see, it recognized him as Peter Skondrianis, working for the company Kokuma as a human relations consultant. So imagine with a, I would say, non-quality picture of LinkedIn, just one picture on LinkedIn, we can recognize a person, for example, like here, even if it's not so visible that it's maybe him. So yes, I'm a former software engineer, and this is kind of my mission here. I try to apply these analytics methods, software applications into rigid industries and disrupt rigid industries. That's why, and that's what I'm currently doing actually in recruitment, actually for quite some time. Here in our new studio, actually you can see behind us where we do a lot of content, not just the free webinars, but a lot of content for companies like, for example, Social Talent in Ireland, saying hello to Johnny Campbell there, and of course for our Recruitment Academy, etc. So based on this, I would say my very first post on social media was this book. Like in general, this book was actually my very first post on social media, I would say. And based on that, we created a company, Good Call, actually 1-2 years ago awarded as the 415th fastest growing company in Europe by Financial Times. So we do recruitment on everyday basis. Almost all these people do recruitment on the daily basis. DataCruit is our company where we create our own ATS, which of course Good Call is using, and other companies from smaller startups up to, for example, Deloitte is using as well, and Recruitment Academy. Having two purposes there. One purpose is to create a new staffing professionals on the market. At the beginning for us, imagine in 2013, where we started the company, there were absolutely zero talent sources on the market. We needed to create the first ones. And the second one is actually putting there some kind of like a benchmark for recruiters. That's why we started long years ago Recruitment Academy Certified Sourcer and Certified Recruiter certification, which is actually a training course with a test where you can get a certification backed by the companies like Nestlé, Unilever, L'Oreal, Faurecia, Glencore. All of these got their logos on the certification, as well as the Recruitment Academy Advisory Board with Jan Milfeit, the former chairman and president of Microsoft Europe, who actually signed the certificates as well. So time to time, as you can see, we do these certifications like face-to-face. So I think this was in Baltics. Yeah, so we went to Baltics, certified people there, like face-to-face there. Otherwise, of course, it's live but online training. All right, so I can see people are here. Hello from Berlin. Hello from Austria. Hello from Krakow. Dziękuję. Thank you, Jacek. Greetings. So I think your very first impression about AI in the current meaning, what we mean by that was maybe also with these avatars. Yeah, suddenly all the people posting on an Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, their avatars, usually using paid apps like, for example, LaMDA app. Yeah, so LaMDA app is one of these apps. You can see these two pictures, I think, are from LaMDA app. It will create a collection of these pictures. But basically, these apps are using some kind of neural networks models, which we know from Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, from DALL-E, for example, from these, I would say, original technologies generating these pictures. So these pictures on the left are from LaMDA app. These pictures, for example, here are from Stable Diffusion. As you can see, I use Diffusion B. Diffusion B looks like this. So Diffusion B is app on your computer. If you have Mac, it's actually optimized for Mac M chips. So I can put here something like, for example, generate. I was like, a friend of mine was looking for some pictures for some job advertisement having nurses there. So I was like asking, like, do you want like sad nurses, screaming nurses, etc. So it can be like generate screaming nurses at work, etc. Yeah, there are many different, and as you can see, many different variables, options, parameters in Stable Diffusion. You don't need to know them from top of your head because you can use these styles, as you can see, visual style, drawing style. So it can be like, for example, a sketch. It can be, for example, type of camera. I don't know, we chose a sketch, yeah, but you can choose type of the camera, etc., etc. You can click generate, and all of this is generating right on my laptop. It's not in the cloud. It's not using some shared capacity, like for example with DALL-E or with Midjourney, but it's generating that on your computer, which it has some cons and of course pros as well. One of the pros might be that usually here there are no, I would say, there are a lot of things which on Midjourney and DALL-E are, for example, prohibited. Yeah. This is a little bit crazy, a crazy picture, because it's a sketch, so it doesn't seem like nurses much, so you need to play with that a little bit more. One of the things I would do here is, for example, put here 4, so it will generate 4 different style, like 4 different pictures, like with Midjourney. We can do, for example, lens flare, etc. So, for example, usually names of the actors. If you want to generate like Brad Pitt, for example, with Midjourney or DALL-E, it will tell you like we cannot do that. You cannot use real names, copyright, whatever. Like you want to do that. Like in Stable Diffusion, you can do that. Yeah, you can do all the things which are usually prohibited on those other platforms. All right, so it's better. Yeah, as you can see, faces are a little bit crippled. Usually fingers are a little bit crippled, but that's the beginning. Yeah. This is Midjourney. So as you can see, for example, here, these pictures, these are the avatars which I created directly on this platform. So for example, this is, if you know Grand Theft Auto, so this is someone created a model for Grand Theft Auto. I imported to Stable Diffusion and created this picture. This is, for example, Van Gogh. So from this very same picture, it generated this picture. So that was maybe the first thing you realized on social media. Hey, AI avatars. Okay, what's that? Let's look at it. If we divide the AI tech into some like main categories, we could divide it based on the format. So we can say text, for example. So GPT, ChatGPT, whatever form, etc. we use, it's text. You put text and you get text. So it's like text to text. There is not just GPT. There is, for example, Google LaMDA. Google is working also on the language model, which will be like the output might be similar to ChatGPT. Of course, they claim it will be better. It works on a different basis, that it's not kind of like I say indexing, but working with like a static data, but it's working with conversations. Yeah, so we will see. If you open, for example, Canva, you know Canva, canva.com, everyone's know Canva. Yeah. If you open Canva, you can also use some kind of like text-to-text AI there. So you can create some template, maybe it can be some flyer, and you can say, give me here 3 bullet points about something. Yeah. So it's there. I don't think it's connected with GPT. I'm not sure, but it's doing kind of the same thing. There are tools like Jasper. Jasper, you are writing email. Yeah, you are writing to someone about, I don't know, you are a marketer and you want to explain to your client, for example, what SEO is. So you just put there SEO, search engine optimization is, and Jasper will give you 1 paragraph, for example, of text about SEO. Yeah, in this text, in this case, Texta, I will show you in practice. Great thing for doing a blog post, which will literally substitute any average copywriter. SmartWriter, Boo.ai, etc., etc., etc. Then we got images, yeah, which I a little bit tackle on that already. DALL-E from the same company OpenAI, doing GPT. Midjourney, I would say my favorite in general. Stable Diffusion, that was the one I was just showing. So now we got 4 different variations of screaming nurses at work. And then different applications of, for example, cleanup pictures. I will show you that, flare, etc. Then we got video. Google Imagen, basically something like DALL-E, but creating a video. So it's a new thing that it will be text to video. You will create a video like something like nurses at work, putting injection into a patient, for example, yeah, and it will do the video. Yeah, so it's kind of like more sophisticated thing because it's not just a picture, and definitely other specialized tools doing something with videos. Then we got voice. Yeah, it's a huge category as well. Usually, for example, voice can mean that you can transcribe your voice. So it means speech to text. Imagine you have a podcast, but not a podcast. You have interview. You have an interview with a candidate. So you can take this file, whether it's a Zoom call or like face-to-face interview, and you can transcribe the file, the speech into a file with a text. And suddenly you have a full transcription of the interview, which you can, for example, import into ChatGPT and say, summarize it, yeah, for example. It will summarize it. There are already specialized tools for that. I will show you right away. Of course, the other way around is possible as well. Text to speech. So you got the text, you write some text somewhere, or you get some text from somewhere, and you will create audio, sometimes, of course, with video, with a voice. The rocket science behind that is when you can replicate your own voice, yeah, and that's, for example, what some of these like Unreal Speech is exactly doing this, replicating someone's voice, yeah. There are again like more tools like that, or for example, voice mode or voice.ai. That you can change your voice. I could, for example, here in real time, change my voice to something else. Yeah, even if we are live on a webinar, it's possible as well. Then special categoric video avatars, which means like a video, audio generated at same time. Famous, I would say, most popular tools: Synthesia, Scena.ai. I will show you DID in practice. So you want to copy yourself, someone else, or you can create like a fake avatar, as we saw the Shinshua TV anchor at the beginning. It's possible with these tools. And then some special things where you wouldn't say it's using AI, but actually it does on the background. It might be Crisp.ai, for example, which is actually a free tool. So far, it's a free tool which you can install to your computer, and you can do actually, for example, Zoom calls. And even if you will be in a noisy place, the recipient on the other hand, on the other side, for example, you are doing interview with a candidate and you are doing the interview from a noisy street or simply from a cafe, etc., and it can actually get rid of these noises on the background, yeah, and make your audio crystal clear. There are other, I don't think I have it here on the list, which can, for example, just take your audio and make it really clean, make it like radio quality. Yeah, all these things are also these tools. So here I simplified the breakdown, but here you have it in more like detail: text to image, text to video, text to audio, text to text, text to motion, text to code. Of course, like coding, we don't focus on that right now, but that's part of that. Text to NFT, okay. Text to 3D, yeah, there are different kind of, when you want to create a 3D model of something. Of course, in recruitment, it's not so important, so I don't focus on that. All right, so I would say a rocket science, it's image to text. So it means that you put there an image and it will tell you by a text what it is. It's a cat, it's a dog, etc. So that's another level. So maybe you wonder which part of the recruitment process might be actually substituted with some of these tools, or what might be the way where we are now heading, and we would be using these tools really in practice. I would say in general, you can use it in some way definitely to things like hiring manager intake, job ads, job descriptions, job description analysis, recruitment strategy design, keywords for talent sourcing, Boolean search queries for talent sourcing, candidate matching, LinkedIn posts, LinkedIn profile, so some things from like personal branding, employer branding, etc. Job interview questions, job interview analysis, and communication with candidates. Yeah. So just few of the things which we can go through in more detail. So let me share with you some of the scenarios, I would say in this case, basic scenarios with ChatGPT in this case applied on this part of the recruitment, sourcing, employer branding processes. How to use ChatGPT? Currently, actually, that's the great thing to do a GPT webinar and having like GPT overloaded. As you can see, sometimes you cannot get now to a free version of GPT. It will tell you that it at a capacity right now. There is a new GPT Plus, which is a paid membership, I think $20 per month, where you can pay and you will have your GPT faster and available all the time. Or Another possibility is to use so-called Playground. GPT Playground, it's on the same website, openai.com. It looks a little bit different. As you can see, like a normal GPT looks like there is just this prompt and that's it. You put something into the prompt, it will give you the answer. With the Playground is some kind of like input field like that, and you can load a different preset, which can be like Q&A, it can be like a chat, etc. Plus, you can choose here different kind of parameters, where, for example, DaVinci, that's the latest, like GPT-3, but there are some other models which you can use, Kerry, etc., which are, let's say, it means that they are not so sophisticated, which also means it's cheaper, because here how the payment is done is that you are counted per kind of like a sign. Yeah, the more text you will generate, the more you will pay. But still, yeah, I don't know, like I'm playing with that quite a lot, and I paid like $2 like per last month. Yeah, so you don't need to be afraid that you will go like over some budgets. It's really cheap. You can define the maximum length here, which is defining the maximum of not totally characters, because this is so-called tokens, and one token can be something like 4 characters, but you can define the output which you will get. And for example, temperature, it means that it's basically the adjusting of the AI. Yeah? If the temperature is closer to 0, the output will be more predictive, more repetitive, etc. When you go further from 0, for example, now we have 0.7, it will bring more chaos to that. It will bring more variables. So every time you generate even the same thing, it will be giving you a different things. Yeah, it will be giving you things which are not so expected, I would say. Yeah, and there are some other things like penalty for frequency if the same word is there in one sentence more time, etc., etc. Not so important. So what you can, for example, do, like in for example, this Playground, is that you can, for example, create a simulator for interview. Yeah, so in the red is my original request. Yeah, act as a recruiter who is doing an interview with a candidate. I'm a candidate. Ask me a question and wait for my response one by one. Don't send me all the questions at once. My first sentence is good morning. So AI is replying to me, good morning. Can you tell me more about your educational background and experience? And I continue. Yeah, I, as a human, say, I studied Faculty of Nuclear Sciences and Physical Engineering, blah, 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 blah. It will tell me, that's impressive. What do you think makes you stand out from the others? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so you can actually create a simulator, for example, for a candidate. Candidate can try like a dry run to try how it would be, for example, to be interviewed by someone. So that's possible what you can do here. So ChatGPT is a language model. So we need to take into account that it has its limitation. It looks nice for things like, for example, these where you are playing with some language. Yeah, but every time when you go into some facts, it might have problems. Yeah, even like mathematical problems. Like if you give them mathematical a question like what is like 1 + 1, if I simplify it, it might get it wrong actually. Yeah, so that's kind of, I would say, a little bit paradox, because a lot of people expected like AI will be really good in these like factual things, routine things, etc. But why we like that is that it can actually do kind of, I would say, the creativity work. Actually, ChatGPT started already by AI research paper in 2017. Why this is hype now is that in December 22, the company OpenAI created ChatGPT, which is like a version of which all of us can enter just by creating account and going there. Yeah. Since then, before then it was like API, so programmers can use that already for 3 years. Yeah, already before today. And this is GPT version 3, so we are waiting for the GPT version 4, which should have a way more powerful engine because there will be way more parameters took into account. So we will see. So intake with a high-rank manager. Intake with a high-rank manager could be, for example, done in this way that I can ask. This is, as you can see, just based on the user interface. This is really like the ChatGPT. This is not Playground. So even if now you got access to ChatGPT, you can hop on there and you can try it. And I just put there, prepare me for the intake meeting with a high-rank manager who get unrealistic requirements about his new employees. How would such a conversation would look like? And the AI GPT is replying to me like some things, as you can see, understand their perspective, be prepared to challenge assumption, etc., etc. So it's kind of preparing me for that. And as you can see, this was just one sentence and there is some output, but it remembers the context. So I can, for example, now I could continue and say, all right, I understand. Can you go deeper on the point number 1? Can you give me some practical examples of point number 1, understanding their perspective? You don't even need to say like understanding their perspective, just number 1. And it knows you are talking about the last answer and it will continue. So it's really like a conversation with, we can say, chatbot, for example. And you can continue in this way, or you can do the similar thing, for example, like we did with the simulator of an interview, and you can do like intake interview with a manager in a playground. And I was telling like, act as a hiring manager who got unrealistic requirements about her job description. I'm a recruiter looking who is in charge of this job vacancy. Simulate the conversation with the hiring manager. My first sentence is good morning, and it continues like with other questions. As you can see, that I'm saying like I would like to discuss the requirements for this role. Are all of those requirements really mandatory? And it replied to me, that depends. What are the requirements that you are asking about specifically, etc. So you can continue and you will see where you will get. We can actually take a look at some specific job description. I opened here one actually. I think it's here. Senior cybersecurity engineer. And as you can see, there is description, cybersecurity engineer, like this. And this is just here. And what you can do, for example, is that you can actually copy paste. You can really like do this, like copy paste it like that. I will include these things as well, because I would say these networking security, cybersecurity, network security, we can take as part of the job description. And you can just do copy paste thing like that. And then you can continue. And for example, here in this case, I was just telling an AI to summarize this job description. Yeah, so I can just tell, I can copy paste it there and say, summarize this job description for me, and that's it. Yeah, and as you can see, it's summarizing for me the job description. And maybe you will say, okay, so now of course we would need to read it actually. Let's say I have some background in IT security, so okay, but maybe still you will say, it's still too complicated, like do something else. Or you can continue like, maybe we can try people, let's say, what sort of employees or professionals would be suitable for this role. Yeah, we can do, for example, something like that. Can you give me examples of those job roles suitable for this. As you can see now, it's giving me some cybersecurity analyst, cybersecurity engineer, cybersecurity consultant, network security consultant, information security engineer, etc. Yeah, so as you can see, maybe it wasn't one iteration. Maybe I needed to use like more iterations. But over 2 or 3 iterations, I got to maybe what I wanted. Yeah. Now maybe I have more keywords which I can use for the search, maybe on LinkedIn or anywhere else. So still, maybe the summary is too complicated. So you can, for example, do something like that. Can you explain it to me as 10-year-old? Simple like that. It already knows the context from before, because as I said, it remembers the conversation till some time, of course, not like infinitive remember, but within that chat, it remembers the context. So maybe this will be even like more easy to read explanation of what this it does. Someone mentioned here from LinkedIn, in this case, I'm not able to see the username. Data used by ChatGPT are used from all sources on the internet until year 21. Exactly. Yeah, that's of course one limitation. There are some plugins, and now of course Bing, the new Bing. If you get on the waiting clicks, you can have like better Bing search. Where the GPT is like implied there, and it should work also with other data. But yes, that's totally correct. When you ask it, for example, what are the latest trends in digital recruitment in 2022, it will tell you, sorry, I don't have data from 2022. Yeah, so there are some of these. It's important to realize what it actually does. And to realize that it's a language model doing something, and it's not like the ultimate solution for everything. But as you can see, for example, here, when I have no clue about a role, cybersecurity engineer, or what was it, I can, for example, say, what are the main keywords which I should use for searching for this role? Yeah, I'm still talking about this one. Yeah, I'm still here in the context of this chat. And it will tell me, like, these are the keywords. Yeah, these are the keywords which you could use. I'm telling the AI, can you create a Boolean search string from that? Yeah, no problem. I can do that. So it created for me like the OR operator Boolean string, and perfect. Now I can copy paste this, use it in Google, use it in LinkedIn, of course, with some, depending on where you are copy pasting that, there might be some limitations. For example, like in the free version of LinkedIn, the maximum number of OR operators. Otherwise, you would need to change a little bit the format. Recruitment strategy design. Maybe now you are wondering, like in general, like, okay, so now I got the role, intake meeting done. I understand what this role is about. Okay, done. Now what would be the strategy, how to look for these people? So I will simply ask, yeah, what would be the efficient recruitment strategy for the role senior cybersecurity engineer? Yeah, and it's giving me some leveraging professional networks, etc., utilizing job boards. Maybe it's too generic. Yeah, nothing special about it. Like requirements, social networks, job boards. Like we know it as well. So sometimes you need to be like more specific, and sometimes a good strategy is asking the AI to give you some uncommon strategies for this role. So can you give me some uncommon strategies for this role? And now the output starts to be like more interesting. Attend cybersecurity events. Perfect. Leverage employee referrals, target passive candidates, offer flexible work arrangements, highlight career growth opportunities. Yeah, so we are like, let's say, deeper in that rabbit hole, and we can of course still continue. I can, for example, ask, what would you use? Like, would you use LinkedIn for this role? If so, which keywords should I use? Yeah, so yes, LinkedIn definitely. It would use LinkedIn, and these are the keywords which, if you are not aware of cybersecurity terms and the jargon behind that, I think this is great for you. And it's easier than using Google in this case. Yeah, so cybersecurity, but threat analysis, penetration testing, for example. If you don't know exactly, you wouldn't say like penetration testing probably as the first thing. Vulnerability assessment, etc., etc. So I would say, just from based on my experience, if I have like almost zero knowledge about this, this is a nice list. We can ask about even like a specific employer branding campaigns, for example, in the past. Can you give me examples of recruitment campaigns which went viral in the past? And as you can see, yeah, there is some Old Spice in 2010, Google 2020, Heineken, etc. Okay, that's a general recruitment campaigns. So I'm going further and telling the AI, are there some examples of campaigns for IT security roles? Which, to be honest, I didn't expect that there will be a specific answer for that, but obviously there is. In IBM, at IBM in 2016, they launched a campaign, the Grand Cyber Challenge. In Deloitte 2017, Cyber War Games. NCC started some Cyber Chef. Bug Crowd starting, Level Up, HackerOne. Yeah, as you can see. So perfect. Now I have like great examples for a specific recruitment campaigns which went kind of viral. Define viral, of course, but let's say for me it's okay that they were just some kind of popular, and now I can go deeper and dig deeper, maybe now even using Google. Yeah, but imagine like Googling this, if there is no article really describing this and you are able to find it over Google, it might be more demanding actually to get this collection quickly. Now we got it like really quickly. With job interview questions, yeah, so okay, we are doing some campaigns, we did some sourcing, and we are at the interview. So let's AI prepare for me, give me 5 interview questions for this role. Yeah, it's giving me 5 interview questions. Give me 3 hard practical questions for this role which target on the requirements of this role. So as you can see, if you remember this keyword, it was used that before, so it's tackling directly on that keyword. Yeah. So with a few steps, with a few questions, you can also get quickly a list of questions which you might be asking the candidate. Of course, like legal things, like for example, GDPR consent, it can do that as well. Yeah. The thing is, of course, how would you trust it if you would use it right away? But if you really want some template, you can use it for that as well. As you can see, this is the whole GDPR consent done with all the things around. With the talent sourcing, of course, we can ask, what are the synonyms for the role cybersecurity engineer? So I ask, what are the synonyms for this role, and put it into a Boolean format. As you can see, it created for me different kind of variations of synonyms and put it directly in a Boolean string. So of course, again, you can copy paste it and use it maybe in your ATS, maybe Google, maybe LinkedIn, maybe other things, other databases, etc. It works because a lot of people, there are people from Peru here, Susana Rivas from Peru, etc. So we got other languages. Yeah, here I have German, there we got Spanish, Portuguese, French, etc. So the good thing is that this, so far I was using just English examples, but it can work in your local language as well. So you can directly work with that language. So you can put the prompt also in your local language. Or sometimes what I do is that, because sometimes in English, Brazil, bom dia, so Portuguese in this case. So sometimes I put the prompt in English, because some of the terms, like for example, even the simple, I got here the uncommon, give me uncommon, where it was here, uncommon strategy. So even the word uncommon, sometimes, for example, in my local language is kind of not precisely to I would say to, we cannot precisely translate it. So sometimes I put it in English, but say, I will tell the AI, like, give me the output in for example, Spanish. Yeah, so you can do that as well. So in this case, for example, I'm putting, are there some synonyms for this role in German language, which I should cover as well? As you can see, yeah, there are some cybersecurity engineer in German, and as you can see, it created for me some list of, in German, for example, they, a lot of times they use these words like the adjective and noun, they put it together. Yeah, so as you know, in, for example, LinkedIn, it's a problem because LinkedIn can be searched only by the full words, yeah, so not just by the fraction of the words. So especially there, it can be a problem. So as you can see, it gave me the output as well. I can ask about the specific things, which again, like these things already needs to be double checked because those are some factual things which might be wrong. Yeah, so I asked, for example, what are the top IT security companies in France? It gave me some Orange, Cyber Defense, Thales. We know Thales, it's a huge company. Storm Shield, Airbus, Cybersecurity, F-Secure, yeah, etc. I can, for example, continue and say, can you prepare a Boolean string from these company names and create it for me directly, the Boolean string, which we can copy paste. Alejandro, yeah, there will be recording as well of this. So, but as I said, like I'm not in France. Maybe I can say like Thales, like I know that they do IT security, they do a lot of other things. So it's a question if I would consider Thales, for example, as cybersecurity company. But we can go from there. Yeah, I just returned from Albania. Actually, I just got some business to do in Croatia, Zagreb, and then Albania. And I was using this there in the same way. I was asking ChatGPT, can you give me the insurance companies, for example, in Albania, which are almost like totally different, for example, from other countries here in Central Europe. Yeah, now I'm sitting in Prague and broadcasting from Prague. So we can continue to some like branding things. Yeah, imagine that, for example, job ad headlines. Yeah, when you are creating some headline, so you can say, for example, act as a headline generator and provide 10 job ads headlines based on the following keywords: firewall, cybersecurity, unlimited vacation. Yeah, and it's giving me some cybersecurity engineer wanted to manage firewall security. Join our team as a cybersecurity analyst with unlimited vacation benefits, etc., etc., etc. So maybe you are now sitting there and creating the job ad, and you simply, you know, to be in the creative mood, to do something like to have your output like over exceeding your like average. Yeah, it takes some effort. It's about timing, etc. This can really help you with that as well. As I said, for example, even the description and the headline for this webinar was basically done with this, with some small edits by me. So as you can see, we can even, like, as I said, like elaborate even more on that. Yeah, you can say, for example, I like the point number 3, but please do it more informal. Yeah, use emojis, do it more informal. Or on the other hand, do it more formal, do it more polite, for example, etc. Marcel is saying the Boolean string is wrong. Yeah, it's I don't know which one, if you mean the companies or the roles, but of course it might be. It's just AI. Yeah? You need to check it, of course. I was mentioning, for example, Texta.ai, which is, I would say, a tool which can substitute, I would say, average copywriter. Yeah, Texta.ai. I'm not sure what like language model it's using behind that, but we can try, for example, put here. Maybe you have a blog and you want to cover it with some content. And imagine, like, usually it's like that. A lot of companies, since the content marketing was created, companies are sometimes forced to create content. Of course, usually or oftentimes the content is not high quality content. Someone's creating content about something which is not his or her expertise, etc. Yeah, so maybe we can try, for example, do something like 3 free latest, cyber security, trends, yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, generate article, and we will see. Let's do it in English now. As you can see, sorry, so I don't have a paid plan here, but you can try it yourself. Texta.ai, you got some trial version of that, and this is the output. Basically, the output is only headline. This will be what I put there, is a headline, and it will generate the article in a few minutes, including the picture. Yeah, so as I said, like a lot of people, a lot of copywriters are not doing like much more than this. TribeScaler, for example, TribeScaler is focused on these like hooks generators. If you are looking for some hooks for your PPC campaigns and these type of things, you can put here, for example, digital recruitment on LinkedIn. And as you can see, it created some kind of like analogies, surprising connections. So it can really take this topic and put it into connection with totally like different things. Yes, for example, here analogy about digital recruitment on LinkedIn in process of evolution. Yeah, just a species evolve over time in order to adapt, etc., etc., etc. Yeah, it putting together like things which maybe sometimes you have a shower and you will realize, this is a good analogy, like putting this into analogy with this. This is basically analogy or hook generator on steroids. Yeah, then you can choose, for example, okay, I like just analogies, so give me analogy with digital recruitment on LinkedIn, and as you can see, it created just analogies. Yeah, in this case, it created just analogies with these things. Same thing with like captions. Yeah, you can create, give me 10 grabbing hooks which I should use for the first 3 seconds on TikTok video. Yeah, things like that are great because you are benefiting from the language model behind it. Yeah, it's not much about some like factual things. It's more about really playing with the language, especially when you are, for example, not native English speaker. You need something in English or in other languages. It's working really nicely, including LinkedIn posts. Create a LinkedIn post educating audience about the most popular Google search operators. Make it funny and use emojis. If you are from France, for example, I would say, and give me output in French, or do it in French. Yeah, you can really put these comments really like without any like special like full sentence order, etc. As you can see, it really created a LinkedIn post describing some operators using emojis. It's probably funny, like in a way, as even of using the emojis, it might be taken as funny. So LinkedIn posts, that's one of the things. Sometimes also you got in your mind like personal branding, these things. I'm set to post every week. Now I'm not in a mood to create a post. With this, you can do that. AI removal tool. Looks like this. It's clean up pictures. Where, for example, you got some picture right here and you want to remove something. So you can, for example, just do like this, and it will recalculate the output without it. As you can see, it put really into the background the template which was there underneath. Of course, it works for like people as well. Yeah, I can like delete like the whole person like that. Maybe you got some pictures of your employees on the website, some group pictures, and some people are not working for a company anymore. Maybe they complain they don't want to be there. So there is a question like how to get rid of these people efficiently. So maybe you can do it like that. Sometimes it's not for the first time. As you can see, there is something which is still here. So we can do like a second round of that, or third round, and it will be removed more. So these things, for example, this precise thing is possible to do, for example, even with DALL-E by OpenAI. which is something like Midjourney I have here, but on the web. So these things are possible there as well. Of course, if you use Photoshop, all of these things are already there. Yeah, even to the extent that you can, for example, select an object in a picture and hit delete and delete it. Yeah, so if you want to just really some quick tool how to delete something, you don't have a Photoshop, clean up pictures. LinkedIn comments, that's a nice thing from, I think, Sam Williams, it's his name. He created a plugin, so you can, there are different kind of GPT plugins, but one of them is called LinkedIn Power Tools, where there is a comment generator. You can choose which type of language the comment should be written as, if it's like casual, formal, excited, funny, etc. And then you can just open some comment on LinkedIn, click into comment section, and there is this button LiPOF, LinkedIn Power Tools. You can click on that and it will create automatically without any other input. It will create a comment based on the text of this post. Yeah, and even if it's in a local language, it will be in Spanish, it will create it in Spanish. Yeah, of course, it can distinguish the respective language of the post. So this is really a nice thing if you really want to comment for whatever reason, you just want to comment a few posts because it benefits your personal branding, it benefits your organic reach of your post on LinkedIn, you can do it with this tool. Composing a LinkedIn invitation as a part of communication with candidates. As you probably guess now, it's possible. Just compose a LinkedIn invitation and it created for me a LinkedIn invitation. You can try to put there whatever parameters you want. Do it under 280 characters and don't do it that formal. Okay, so it rewrites the text. For example, write me a follow-up. Yeah, so write me a follow-up when someone's accepted your invitation. So it says, hey, thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. I'm excited, da, 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 da. Yeah. Or what you can do is that, of course, you can compose like some email, recruitment email from the scratch, compose, in this case, like declining email. Imagine like declining candidates, what effort you actually allocate to that. Yeah. You know that it should be done. It should be some like email, telephone, etc. But when it's email, there is probably not much creativity in declining email to a candidate. Yeah? So in this case, it will probably do the job at the same level as you would do it, or even better. So compose a declining email to a candidate on the role senior cybersecurity engineer. Be very polite. My name is José Kadlec. Yeah? Dear da-da-da, I would like to take a da-da-da-da-da. As you can see, what's here. Yeah? Maybe you can edit it, etc. But you can use it, of course, in a way that you can take, I think I got some example here, you can take some of your, maybe you got some of your approaching outreach message. You can copy paste it into ChatGPT or in the playground here, and now you can say, for example, rewrite this email and make it more informal, use emojis, something, yeah, and you can let to rewrite maybe even your language, maybe your English, if you're writing in English, is not on that level. So you can improve it that you will really sound like a native speaker. But the same in your local language. Yeah, maybe you wrote it in Spanish and you want to rewrite it in a better styling, a better language. You can use it for that. I think these are the best scenarios for this technology, working with language, yeah, without any like other facts which are there. Yeah, Alejandra, it's called LinkedIn Power Tools. So you can do Power Tools plugin or Google Chrome extension, and actually this is it. Yeah, so every time I mention some plugin, usually it will be placed on Google Chrome. So if you put there LinkedIn Power Tools, in this case, plugin or Google Chrome extension, Google Chrome plugin, you will get to this link. Here you will click add to your Chrome, and the icon will appear here, or you will need here to just to put it, stick it into the toolbar. You need just to accept it here also with this pin. Where we got that LinkedIn Power Tools here. So with this pin, you will stick it here to the top toolbar. All right. So what else? Some other scenarios. If I mention some other scenarios, of course, normally, and that's why ChatGPT is so popular, because you can just open the website, you can go there, maybe you can download this plugin, but it's still using the ChatGPT on the background, and you can use it. But of course, there are some other ways how to access, for example, ChatGPT. By the way, when I'm talking about a Recruitment Academy certified sourcer recruiter, we created a new website which is getcertified.recruitment.academy, where you can actually find out more information about what we do. This is the certificate. We already do it for, I think, like 7 years. So 11 global experts, including now Jan Milfait, who's directly live in this course. So you can ask even like in a real-time live questions for Jan Milfait live. So this is just a reminder about our program. Anyway, there is, for example, plugin Prometheus. Prometheus, which is creating, because normally when I have the playground, you will not use it in the playground, because as you can see, there is this speech to text button. So I can hit speech to text, and instead of writing, I can be just talking. So it's doing, my comments can be done by voice. But of course, in a normal ChatGPT, it's not there. But when you install Prometheus, you will just hit space on your keyboard and you can talk. And it will give you the order, the prompt done by natural language. Yeah, so something like you are talking to your Google Home or Amazon Alexa. Hey Google, blah blah blah. Here, just hit the button and do the same thing. So it's plugin Prometheus. There is plugin ChatGPT for Google. So again, it's a plugin. You will install it, and then, for example, when you do a question in Google, how to start career in IT security, on the left side you will see Google search results. On the right side here, you will see results from GPT. Yeah, of course, as I mentioned, now Bing is supporting that, etc., etc. But I guess most of you are still used to Google, so this is the way how to get both in the same window. Plugin WebChatGPT is also giving you the opportunity here to search the web as well. Yeah, so it's kind of like search of the web directly in ChatGPT. Plugin Summarize, that's a plugin which I have right here, and it will summarize you any website. So as we were doing here, if you remember here, we were doing the summarization of the role cybersecurity engineer. In the same way, I could use the plugin Summarize, and it would summarize it here in the small window under the plugin. So it can summarize any website. So now I'm on the website, so it can summarize what's on the website. It can be article, it can be job description, it can be a CV, for example, if you want as well. And then there are other ways how to access GPT. Already, one of the ways when you want to automate things, when you really want to do some like workflow of things, it's, for example, integration with Zapier or N8N or Make, the former Integromat. So if you really want to put it into process where, for example, you want to evaluate emails by ChatGPT before something is happened, before replying before whatever. Of course, you would not be normally doing that, copy pasting that into ChatGPT, but you can automate the whole process. Email will come, email will automatically be triggered with Zapier. Zapier will put it into GPT-3, as you can see here, and do some actions based on that. So that's one of the things, for example. I will not go very deeper into this because, of course, it would take us just the whole time just for that. Another scenarios, more, let's say, sophisticated workflow scenarios, might be that you can do automatic interview summary. So imagine you can have an interview and you have audio file of that. So it can be Zoom or Teams, etc., or it can be like face-to-face interview with audio recording. You can put it into Descript or Transcriptor or Whisper, which will do the speech-to-text thing. So it will create the text from that. Descript is, for example, used for podcasts. So you have a podcast and you will do the transcription of the podcast, but it can also clone your voice. So if you, for example, did a mistake in a podcast and you said, for example, in the episode 200 and it was 222, you can just change the text, as well as you can delete any text, and it will automatically change the audio as well. So great thing for these things. So imagine now you have the transcription of the interview. You can put it into ChatGPT, polish it to summarize it, polish it, whatever you need, and then, for example, summarize it. If the output should be summarization of that. So then you can save, for example, into your ATS just the summary of the interview and maybe with keywords. There is one company doing application called MetaView.ai, and it's basically doing this, but it's a separated like application. So you are doing Zoom interview, you don't write down anything, you don't put anything, notes down, nothing, because it will automatically create this output where you can see that the output will be a question, and the answer of a candidate will be summarized in bullet points. Have you read this? Read, unable to recall title, blah, blah, blah. So it will do this automatically for you. So it's already there on the market. I'm not sure if MetaView works for local languages, though. Like in English, it's clear, but for local languages, I'm not sure. And finally, of course, hypothetically, you might be doing also candidate matching. So you can, as we uploaded the job description, that's what we did. We uploaded job description into Playground if we do it manually, like here. And then I could upload a CV, for example, as well, right? Copy paste the CV, put it here, and just ask GPT, can you tell me if this CV is suitable for this JD? And can you give me like 3 examples why it is or it is not suitable? Or ask what other roles this person with this CV might be suitable for. Of course, there will be some answers, better or worse, but this might be done. By the way, Bernadetta, again, there will be a recording of this webinar, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn as well. You can also access ChatGPT, for example, over Excel. So there are things, because as you can see, it works nicely with text. We just saw that, whether it's LinkedIn invitations, rewriting of some communication, creating headlines, etc. It can, in the similar way, it can work with code as well, like the source code as well. Give me for example, use the scripting language under Google Sheets and give me a source code which will do something from column B into column A. It will create you the piece of the source code. Or you just don't remember what are the maybe some of the functions, for example, in Excel. So write a Google Sheet formula that scrapes the title from the website in column A, and it's telling me it's equals important XML A1 A8 / title. So you will copy paste it. I think I have some example here. So I have some GitHub profiles right here. So those are the GitHub URLs. And as you can see here, I put there this import XML, just really copy paste it here. And as you can see, it scraped the headline of this link, of this URL. And it's here in the same way, here, yeah. And then maybe you continue with some post-processing with that. So it can help you really, like just in this, like you don't remember what's the function in Excel file. You can use, for example, there is some specialized GPT-like application, Excel Formula Bot, which is really focused specifically on Excel. Yeah, so as you can see, it can give you some like more sophisticated Excel formulas, but basically GPT can do it as well. This is just focused just on that. Or you can use plugin, but not plugin for Google Chrome, but plugin for Google Sheets. Yeah, so as you can see in Google Sheets, there is also extensions, yeah, add-ons. And as you can see, I have Sheet AI app installed here. Yeah, so which is this one, Sheet AI.app. And this is doing basically that, let me give you an example, that it will create a new function in your Google Sheets, which is a function Sheet AI. Yeah, so you can put somewhere Sheet AI. Now there are even more like functionalities, but Sheet AI is the basic function. Yeah, and as you can see, for example, here in this field here, I'm doing Sheet AI, and here is the query for the ChatGPT. So you have Google Sheets, you installed Sheet AI, you connected Sheet AI with your GPT, yeah, which is done over OpenAI license key. Yeah, you just go into GPT settings, you will create a new license key, copy paste it, it's like a hash, and you will copy paste it here, and now you connected this app, Sheet AI, with GPT. And now I can create what I was normally doing here or here. I can create directly from Google Sheets. So now I'm in the one field, one cell, and I'm doing create email using the first name from the column C and the information from the column F, and invite a person for a lunch or a short video call. Be informal and use some emojis. Yeah, and it created some, as you can see, email right there. Yeah, using that. Yeah, and of course I can now I copy paste it even to the second one, etc. Yeah, so there was one technique described many times, Sourcing Summit, etc., where you can send, for example, personalized messages. In one column you put something which is like specific for a candidate, something like hobbies or some things from Twitter, Facebook, etc. And you can, for example, say, hey, use this information from a column F and customize the email with that information. But then you will copy paste the function to all, for example, 1,000 people in this sheet, and it will create email for these people. And you can actually send it directly from Google Sheets as well. If you don't know how, you can ask ChatGPT. Yeah, I will be actually, this is the email with which it was created by Sheet AI in Google Sheets. There are even like, I think Marcel van der Meer commenting here something. I think he's also speaking in Sosu Hacks. There will be definitely some speeches on some specific like niche things which you can do with ChatGPT. I would say more advanced. And I also will be showing there something like with Google Sheets in combination with some programming, etc., etc. So if you are interested, sourcingsummit.net. And finally, AI images. With AI images, basically, as we said, you got Midjourney. Midjourney is this. Midjourney is running on Discord. Discord, maybe you don't know Discord, but Discord is, let's say, something like Facebook, something like Slack, maybe something like Telegram, something like that. But let's say more sophisticated, because there is the whole programming, scripting language behind it, etc. So you have a different Discord channels where you can discuss different things, or you can create a community. A lot of universities got their Discord channels, for example. Yeah? Midjourney got their community right here, where you can, for free, you can open it, you can go there, and then you can open, for example, this newbies 130 channel. Yeah, and as you can see here, you can see different kind of pictures which people are just generated. This was generated like 2 minutes ago. Yeah, so the good thing about this is that you can, for example, these bananas. Yeah, you will say, aha, that's interesting, like these bananas. How to get this type of picture? And you can say, you can see what was the prompt which was created and which was used for generating this picture. So this is a great space for inspiration, because you will say, aha, okay, woman eating banana. A really simple prompt, I would say. Yeah, because oftentimes it's way more longer and sophisticated. Here, vector illustration of pink flamingo wearing sunglasses, yeah, and we got this. Yeah, so this is a great thing. So you have a few credits, I think 20 or 20 credits, which you can use to generate simply like 20 images. Anybody will use it what you generated. Then when you get a paid version, you can skip directly into direct messages into a bot. And here I can generate with a bot messages which only I will see them. So for example, here, high texture quality photo of biomechanical astronaut lying in the meadow of flowers, golden hour Leica 50 millimeters, and some other parameters. Yeah, 2 to 3 scale, etc. Yeah, and this is the results. 4 different pictures. And then you can choose either to upscale one of the variations. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's say I like, for example, 4. So I can upscale it. Or I can click, for example, I like 4, but give me some other variations of that. So I can click on the 4. And now it's started to generate a new variations of this picture. As you can see, we will see it in a few seconds. It will be done. So as you can see here, for example, the nurses, yeah, we were talking about. Yeah, so nurses in hospital smiling. So this was the 4 different variations, which are, I would say, a little bit better than these in stable diffusion. Nurses in hospital sad. So you have sad sisters in hospital. Nurses in hospital screaming. Yeah, so we have these things. Yeah, friend of mine needed some pictures. People in the office reading. Yeah, so you got 5 employees in the modern office reading open books and mobile phones and sitting on the couch and chairs. Modern photography, octo render. So this is the result. Previous examples of the similar thing with the different prompts. Yeah, so as you can see, it really depends on every single word you will use. Now we have the variations of the astronaut. As you can see, it's slightly a little bit different. But of course, there are different parameters you can use. I wrote an article about this already back then in last year in October, I think, where here you can find it in my articles on LinkedIn, yeah, or in the People's Merchandise 2.0 newsletter. And as you can see, I was describing here all the details, how it works, Midjourney, DALL-E, Stable Diffusion as well, and some other tools which you can use, because it's not just those. Of course, it has even more like things that you can generate things. It has some, as you can see, I was describing here how oftentimes it will like cripple hands. As you can see, the AI is not really good with hands. Yeah. sometimes. That's why you can see a lot of these pictures and there are no hands there because fingers are really difficult. As well as, for example, text, it's difficult to create some kind of, put there a label and, for example, name of your company, because it will do it in some other way. Yeah. Here, for example, instead of Škoda, it created Soda, etc. Yeah. So it has some of these features. So it is described right here if you can go in more detail. Yeah. Naked Brad Pitt, of course, stable diffusion, because otherwise you are not able to do that. There are already also like some stock AIs libraries. So a lot of pictures you will be using in your employer branding, flyers, whatever. It might be already stock AI pictures. Even if a good inspiration might be when you open Midjourney.com website, as well as some of the others, and you can click Community Showcase. Here you have some things generated by Midjourney. But the thing is that here underneath, you can really copy paste the whole prompt which was used for generating this picture. So it's not just the picture, but you have also, like we can say, a source code to the picture, yeah, which you can use. By the way, how to create a talking avatar, maybe the final thing here in this webinar, because we are already going over time. You can create, there are tools like Synthesia, Sena AI, etc., where you can create kind of like your copy, but sometimes you don't need like really your copy. You just want to create a video where someone is asking something. Let me get to some of your questions right away. So as you could see here, in Midjourney, I was generating, for example, generate a front face image of a suit and tie young man sitting behind the desk, ultra realistic. So it created these 4 pictures. I upscaled this one, and it's a static picture. Yeah, you can take this picture and you can upload it into DID, yeah, which is right here. So you can create an account here. You can use it for free. There will be some watermark right there. So if you want to create some kind of like, for example, now we are talking how to do that manually, right? But then of course it's just one step further to do it automatically. How to create, for example, video invitation for a candidate, which we do, for example, normally manually using tools like Loom or some other video capturing tool, and we use these to increase the response rate of candidates. But imagine with these tools, you will be able to do that basically on autopilot. So here, for example, we can open this video, if we will be able to open it. And as you can see here, we were able to take the static picture, and it's really saying something. What's it saying? In this case, it's not important, but of course, what it will be saying, you can write yourself. So if, for example, as well as you have your recruitment emails, outreach emails, etc., it can be that. In this case, I asked ChatGPT, create for me some text which will be motivational for recruiters, blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I created the text by ChatGPT. Yeah, you can have your text if it's approaching candidates. It can be text, for example, done by this. Yeah, so it can be taken from this, and from this field we will not only have email for a candidate, but we can transform this into a video invitation. We can take this text, put it into DID. Here, it will take the picture, it will be saying the text, and then of course, if you want to, you can also support it with subtitles, which probably the easiest way is to do with beat.io. Yeah, really precise, especially in English, really precise. If it has some bugs there, you can quickly fix it. Yeah, so then the output looks like this. Here you can see some Czech language, but that's not important. So combining Midjourney for creating the avatar, ChatGPT for text if it's necessary, DID created, which will create it as a video, Veed.io subtitles. All right, so what we got here? We are at the end of the webinar. Irina, thank you very much. Secta.ai, I heard of that, but I'm not sure because there are, of course, so many tools from selfies to professional headshot photos. Yeah. So it's also like creating you like a professional looking picture based on that. Thank you for the tip. Yeah, here I'm not sure like what was the referencing to how to use it in recruitment and talent sourcing. Of course, like maybe you wonder like Midjourney how you use it in recruitment. Yeah. Of course, now for example, I'm doing that more from the broad perspective of course, like branding, etc. Maybe you will not use the pictures like Midjourney directly in talent sourcing. Okay? Maybe now when I was talking about approaching, like video approach, that might be the case, for example. Another case might be, of course, copying yourself, like with the Synthesia.ai or Sena.ai. There is also tool Replica.ai. So, of course, some of these things we might be like wondering, like Midjourney for recruitment here, like why, like how. But as I said, like from the broader perspective, employer branding and these things, it might be the place there. Of course, ChatGPT, that's why I started with that. It will be probably more, it will stick better. There are some other things which are more like future. They will not be like more like precise enough today. Like for example, creating your digital twin. Character.ai is a website where you can, for example, have a chat with Elon Musk. Or if you remember, Joe Rogan got a chat with Steve Jobs, yeah, because they supplied the AI with his past speeches, articles, this information, and it's basically speaking in this manner. Similarly, for example, this tool, Tweet Hunter, it can take your past tweets and it will be creating other tweets based on your style and content you did before. Yeah, so I think this is the future of imagine like creating even your like digital twin, which will be able to answer your candidates like whatever questions, for example, about your company, etc., etc. Another personal.ai, also like there is also like this AI for that. It's indexing everything you do. Imagine you go to YouTube, you go to ATS, you go to Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and it remembers everything you are kind of like doing, indexing, searching, and you can use it not only to create your digital twin, but then you will say, I heard about this somewhere, I heard about that somewhere, and it can tell you exactly the reference where you get it. If you are using the new Bing, you can also try u.com. It was existing before. u.com is basically AI-based search engine. So the chat, as you can see here, chat, it's already embedded in it. Yeah, so it's a little bit kind of different search engine. As you can see, also like things like Midjourney is actually embedded in that search engine. It's clear that there are too many of these tools, and every week there is a new one. Yeah, there is a good website, futuretools.io, where you can navigate through these different AI tools. If you want AI tools like text to video, you just click on text to video. You will see text to video plugins, tools, websites, etc. Yeah, so you can try them. Yeah, as you can see, there are really a lot of them. It's now about like which tool is I would say, reliable enough to use it in the current scenario. I'm not saying that all of these things you will see right here, you will use right away, but I would maybe take it even like having your eyes open, what will come next. Even if a lot of things, to be honest, like these things like with candidate approaching, even like, for example, declining or approaching candidates, or for example, these LinkedIn posts, we normally use it, I would say, almost normally on daily basis. Someone asked about using that for screening the candidate. Of course, in this case, I wouldn't trust GPT that much. Candidate matching, in general, candidate matching, we are programming candidate matching into our database, or we program that into DataCruit ATS based on some keywords, etc., etc. We know that it's a tough like task to do. So of course there would be a lot of false positives, like being reliable on ChatGPT in terms of candidate matching JD versus, for example, CV. So I wouldn't be as Miroslav was asking that. Okay. 5 from Philippines. All right. Yeah. So that's basically it. Of course, as we said now, like you need to be aware of the outputs. As you can see here, AI spotted a cow on the field, but obviously it's 2 cows, but AI thinks that it's 1 cow, which is over 5 meters long. So it's still in beta. Yeah, we need to say like GPT, it's still in beta. But I think the fabulous things about that is that even if it's still in beta, we can use it already for some certain tasks. And it seems like people are using that way. So, so maybe finally, Max Peng here posted, AI will not replace you. So don't be worried. AI will not replace you, but the person using AI will. So that's probably the bottom line I would take from that. And I would have eyes open when speaking about these things. Final reminder, we are running the brand new Recruitment Certified Sourcer and Recruiter training, roughly 30 hours of content, partially pre-recorded. Half of that, at least, it's live, where you can meet 11 different trainers. This is like a small teaser. Thank you very much for your great attendance right here. There will be a recording of this. And of course, if you have any questions, like put the comments below, and of course, we will be notified about it so we can answer it. Thank you very much. And at the very end, I would play you the new teaser for our certifications. But with that, thank you very much, and see you next time. Ciao. My name is José Kadlec, and I helped to build one of the largest talent sourcing powerhouses in the world by the application of the latest recruitment technologies. 8 years ago, I established a training course and certification called Recruitment Academy Certified Sourcer and Recruiter to provide attendees with the latest know-how in recruitment and talent sourcing, but also provide companies with the gold standard how to recognize the capable staffing professionals. Do you feel sometimes lost and overwhelmed in the latest talent sourcing techniques? That's why I'm providing attendees with a unique framework of searching and approaching candidates on various channels, including LinkedIn, Google, Facebook, Instagram, GitHub, or TikTok if you want. I will provide you with more than 30 different tools, including the latest AI tools such as ChatGPT, which will give you the desired recruitment superpowers. This training and certification is divided into pre-recorded and live sessions with 11 different speakers and practitioners eager to make you a better recruitment professional. Join our community of global certified experts and boost your career in recruitment today. Good luck and see you soon.